Good evening, everybody. We're the last presentation of the evening. My name is Keith Johnson. This is my lovely wife, Sandra Johnson.
Hello there.
And we're going to be speaking about demonology, basic demonology. A lot of you I know are paranormal investigators. I guess you all are this evening. But in dealing with this, there is always a chance that if you haven't run across something which is inhuman or demonic, there's a chance you will, sooner or later. So it's best to be prepared, and knowledge is power. Now, before we get underway, I just really like to thank Shannon and Jeff, and God bless you both for the wonderful thing you've done tonight. It's beyond words to describe what you've done. And I'd also like to mention some paranormal investigator friends of ours, dear friends for many years from Pennsylvania, Patty Wilson and Scott Cronenover. They recently had a fire in their house, where a lot of the house was destroyed. Scott, he's very, of course, he's done a lot of work with EVP. He looks rather severely burned. I saw some pictures of him. He's in his hospital room. His hands are all blistered up. His face is quite blistered, but he's smiling. He's smiling as if nothing happened. So that's the kind of person Scott is. So you keep them in your prayers, Scott Cronenover and Patty Wilson. And Scott has done a great deal of work with photography as well, digital spirit photography. So he's made some very great innovations with that. So just keep them in your thoughts and prayers. Now, the subject matter we're going to go over can be somewhat what I mean.
I hear knocking, Keith.
Yes, I know. It started already. But I do see there are people here who I have worked with in the past, and I continue to work with. And God bless you for going through this with us, and Lisa especially. You've done so much with us over the years, and Valerie, thank you for all you do, and Chris, Nathan, you know, it's just can't thank you enough for going through this adventure with us. Obviously, Brian Hanwha and I have had quite a few experiences, as he was mentioning. Now, because of the subject matter, and we are going to be playing some spirit voices, some of them are considered to be non-human spirits. So I want you to know that Sandra and I do pray for each and every one of you that you will be kept safe, and this is how we protect ourselves. We pray that nothing unholy, no unholy attachments have any sway, that you be protected and that you be guided, whatever your beliefs may be. And that has always worked by the grace of God for Sandra and I. Now, Demonology 101. From a lay demonologist's point of view, I am a lay demonologist. I am non-denominational clergy, but for many years I've worked as a lay demonologist. Now, a demonologist basically is someone who studies the history, theology, nature, and activity of the demonic realm, and hopefully is able to apply this knowledge. You know, I'm not talking about an 18-year-old kid who's read some books, which I was once. And, actually, my first demonic investigation for a family was when I was 18 years old. But you have to remember, that was a long time ago, and there weren't that many people available to go out and do this sort of thing. So that's essentially what a demonologist is. Ed Warren, pioneering paranormal psychic researcher and lay demonologist. This is Ed Warren and his wife Lorraine. Ed passed away in 2006. His wife still continues to work. God bless her, Lorraine Warren. And many of you have seen her on episodes of Paranormal State. I first met Ed and Lorraine when I was 17 years old. My brother Carl and I attended a lecture given by the Warrens at Rhode Island College, which let us know maybe we're not so crazy after all. Ed and Lorraine traveled all over the world and all over the country. They are the original investigators of the Amityville house. So that's how we get to know them, being lifelong friends. Now, a demonologist's role in paranormal investigation. Summoning demons? Well, that's why whenever I mention being a demonologist to people, I usually prefix it with I'm a religious demonologist. And because you say you're a demonologist, and I know Ed Warren got this a lot of times, they think you summon demons. You're a wizard if you say you're a demonologist. But we do it in a religious aspect. So our field is not summoning demons, although a demonologist knows how to summon demons and hopefully will not summon them for a cause any other than altruistic. So some things to rule out, this is very important, some things to rule out before jumping to a paranormal inhuman conclusion. Matrixing, pareidolia or simulacra, that's simply your mind making sense out of chaos. You see fuzzy little bunnies in a cloud. That's your mind punching in like a computer something that is familiar or recognizable. So it may not be a full-bodied apparition that you're looking at. So always look for another explanation. See? Insect, rodent infestations, scratching sounds, bites, rashes. Now, and this goes along with it too, mold infestations can cause illness, hallucinations, etc. Lisa, Sandra, and I were on an investigation when Sandra, this is after Sandra and I were members of the Atlantic Paranormal Society. We're still working with them. Lisa was a member of TAPS at the time. We went into a house. This woman's family had called us. She was an elderly woman living by herself. Her family checked in on her once or twice a day, but she basically wanted to be independent. As soon as we walked in, there was a grating, you know, those gratings in the hallway leading to the basement. You could just smell the rodent urine just wafting up. Very, very unhealthy, moldy situation, infestations, and this woman was sure she had a house of ghosts and demons. In fact, Lisa happened to be sitting in a rocking chair that she usually sat in, and when Lisa got up, the back of the rocking chair hit the wall and back. The lady turned around, "That's the noise I've been hearing, that's the ghost right there." Well, we went downstairs and there was a wood pile there. Sandra said it sounds like it's alive because it was just clicking with termites. And there was such an incredible rodent and insect infestation and mold infestation. And Lisa found a mouse carcass that was writhing up and down because it was so filled with maggots.
She was very excited.
Yes, very excited. Well, knowing Lisa, she was very excited, obviously. She's a veterinary technician. She's had a great deal of experience, but she was invaluable in helping us with this because helping out this family. She actually, the woman would not be convinced until she put it on a piece of cardboard and actually brought it up and showed it to her. This is what you're dealing with. That finally did convince the lady. Right. When the family came back, we explained the situation to her, and I did house blessing for her comfort, and you know, it wouldn't do any harm, and it probably did a lot of good too. But her problem was not infestation by demons; it was rodents and insects and mold.
And the mold.
Exactly.
The mold was like cotton candy on her wall.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
Really, really, really bad.
And that can cause hallucinations, sickness.
Yes. Oh, all sorts of things.
Things that
Very.
people say are demonic, you know, they feel sick or...
Yes. Oh, yeah, exactly. Like, and this kind of goes along with it too. Plumbing problems, unpleasant odors, etc. Sometimes a toilet with the automatic sensor, if it reaches below a certain level. We had this going in our house the other night. It was going, the toilet was going beyond a certain level, and it would automatically flush. Doesn't mean it's haunted. It just is the sensor is causing it to flush. I've actually worked with some people who are into plumbing, and they.
I think I know that.
Yes, yeah, and they've gone through this a lot of times. They've been called in because somebody's toilet's automatically flushing, and they won't touch a house if it's got a terrible mold infestation. They're legally not supposed to touch it. They're supposed to call in the inspectors and health regulations. Again, narcolepsy, epilepsy, mental illness. Obviously, we could go on for hours and hours about that, but those are things to look out into. Sleep disorders such as that, different forms of epilepsy, and of course different states of mental illness. Okay, there's hypnopopic hallucinations. They occur upon waking. Your body is paralyzed, obviously, because of a chemical process while you're sleeping, so you don't get up and sleepwalk, although some people still do. But it's basically to keep you, prevent you from acting out your dreams. And so you go into a state of paralysis while you're sleeping. You wake up, you're becoming conscious, your body is not fully awake. So you feel this, you're being pinned down. It's a very panicky, helpless situation, a feeling from what I've had it described to me. But it has very natural explanations. Hypnagogic hallucinations, immediately preceding sleep. You're just drifting off into sleep, but your mind is still partially awake. Infrasound can cause anxiety, chills, and extreme sadness. High electromagnetic fields can produce symptoms of temporal lobe epilepsy, such as visual, auditory hallucinations, and a sensing of presence. And Mike obviously knows exactly what I'm talking about. He's even recently been through this. And I'm going to ask Sandra to speak a little bit about the Persinger helmet. And again, Mike is also very knowledgeable about the Persinger helmet.
I have one.
He has one, yes. He does. We've had it on our show, Ghost Narnier.
This is not me. First off. Is this thing still? No. I may be loud enough. I can talk loud, but not as loud as Keith. Oh. Hello. Hello. Yeah. It's hello. Hello.
Is there a
Yeah.
switch on?
That's good.
He's blind.
Hello.
Check.
Hello out there.
Jeff's coming to the rescue. Here he comes.
It's a small room. I can talk really loud when I need to. Okay. How many people besides Mike and Annette have actually heard of Dr. Michael Persinger? Well, a couple besides Mike and Annette. Because of Mike and Annette. Because of Mike and Annette. People know who Dr. Persinger is. I don't get into this as much as Mike does. He really expounds on Dr. Persinger's work. The only thing I want to tell you is that Dr. Persinger invented this helmet, and what it does, it emits an electromagnetic field into the brain that mimics the situation that you would have if you had TLE, or temporal lobe epilepsy. Now, I don't know if you know too much about that condition, but what can happen is that when you have one of these episodes, you can have a feeling of a presence in the room. You can have auditory hallucinations. You can have visual hallucinations. And these are some of the things that can mimic a paranormal experiences as well. So, you know, this is one of the reasons that we use, in fact, the main reason that we would use an EMF detector as a paranormal investigator. You're not going to use your EMF detector to go chasing ghosts around. You're going to use it to try to locate these electromagnetic fields that your clients may be experiencing and perceiving as a paranormal experience. One of the clients that Dr. Persinger had was a little girl who felt as if she had a malevolent presence in her room night after night. Well, what Dr. Persinger found was that the alarm clock on the table next to her bed was actually emitting a very high EM field. And they removed the alarm clock, no more nightly visitations. So this is despite the fact that it was not invented as a paranormal gadget, it is very useful on investigation to rule out this particular situation. I don't need this.